Good Sunday evening, everybody. Today is May 5th, 2024. And tonight's video, as it states up above, is 2 reasons not to buy a Chevy Bolt. Okay? This is not clickbait. This is not to try to get you to watch a video. I mean, I want you to watch videos, but these are honest. I currently own a 2023 Chevrolet Bolt 1LT, the base model. I purchased it March 11th, 2023, and my out the door price was $29,383. My purchase price was $25,900. Then there was it was $26,800 after destination charges, and then there were title, license, dock fees. I don't know. There were several fees to take it to $29,383. So I just got a tax credit. I got my taxes done. I didn't get the full $7,500 because I don't make enough money to have $7,500 in tax liability, and you can only get back what your tax liability is up to $7,500. So when I bought the car, I assumed I would have a tax liability around $6,000. And also when I had ordered the car, currently live in Illinois. Illinois had a $4,000 rebate check once you take possession of the car. My car took 9 months to come in, so that money was gone by then from Illinois. That program was out. It goes in, goes out, they lose, I'm not sure how the money goes. Anyway, I didn't get that $4,000. Then I also didn't get the $7,500 because I only had a tax liability of $4,800 come tax time. So basically, if you look at it that rate, the total price, $29,383, what's that making, like a $24,500 car-ish? Okay, so it's $24,500, basically. But here's the deal. Let's get right to the bottom line. The number one reason not to buy a Chevy Bolt is depreciation. I know every car depreciates. I don't care what you have, it depreciates. My car, I looked on Kelley Blue Book today, just a little bit ago, to give you an example. My car, if I was to trade my car in now after 1 year, and next week it'll be 2 months, 1 year and 2 months, the average trade-in value of my car is $15,277. And I listed it in the excellent category. You know, there's lots of different categories. If it's got issues, it's fair, blah, blah, blah. I put it as excellent, $15,277. Now, there's a range of trade-in prices, anywhere from $14,137 to $16,416. Okay? So that's a $2,300, $2,200 range you're going to get for trade-in value of the car. Okay? So the depreciation is bad. Literally almost half the car. Almost 50% if you look at it that way. Basically 50%, 45% in 1 year. Now next year it'll depreciate more, but my plan is to keep my car long term. And I've done numerous videos about the positives of my car. This video is going to be concentrated on the 2 reasons you don't want to buy a car. You don't want to buy a Chevy Bolt. If you don't keep your car very long, if you're one of them people that I like to trade every 2 years, and I don't keep a car very long, and I go and trade and trade and trade, well, you're wasting money, a lot of money. So then I thought, well, what about private party price? What if instead of trading it in, I sold it, private party? The average selling price is $17,915 for my car right now. It ranges between $16,595 and $19,234. $17,915 is the average. So ballpark $18,000. So at that rate, you've still lost $11,000 depreciation in 1 year, even if you sell it to a private party and you got 18 grand for it. So even though it was 25.9, okay, after my tax credit, I paid, what I say, 24.5. So at that rate, okay, you've only lost, if you look at it that rate, $6,400 in 1 year, if you could sell it for 18. No, yeah, 60, yeah, about 6,400. So that's doable. That's still a lot of depreciation. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, reason number 2 is if you road trip a lot and you need an electric car to road trip, do not buy a Chevy Bolt. This is pretty common knowledge for most people, but the number one thing, they say a maximum charge rate is 55 kilowatts. Now, my wife and I took mine last summer to Florida. It was a long 2 days to get to Florida. I did get 56 kilowatts on 2 occasions, but for just a short time. And if any of you know anything about charging, 56 kilowatts is horrible. That's terrible. You know, you grab a Tesla that's got 250 kilowatts of charge. Now, they don't charge at 250 kilowatts at a fast charger all the way to 80%, and they only hit 250 or 260 possibly for a short time, and then they taper down really quickly, but nowhere near down to like mine. The Bolt, if the temperature of the battery is just right, and you have a low state of charge, maybe 15%, we would hit 56 kilowatts for maybe just a minute, and then it was 55, 54, and before you knew it, it was down to 44. And then before you knew it, when you got up to 65%, then it was down to 37 kilowatts. We averaged an hour almost at every stop. And we had 7 charging stops on the way to Florida, South Florida, 1,250 miles we drove one way. So it was tough. It was, I had prepared for it. I knew it. Nothing was a surprise to us. It was just brutal. And you can only spend so much time at a Walmart, at Electrify America. You know, an hour each time after a while, you know, and if the 4 chargers, what we found out with Electrify America, if they have 4 chargers and one of them's broken and 2 people are there charging because they have an ID4 from Volkswagen or a Kia and they get 2 years of free charging unlimited and they live down the block, they're still going to charge at Walmart for free. 30 minutes unlimited. I don't blame them, but for people like me that were road tripping, you know, then you wait in line. I'm used to that at a gas station, not charging with an electric car. If you have a Tesla and they have 8, 12, 16, 24 chargers, you don't have an issue. You're in, you're out, you're done charging in 15 to 20 minutes anyway. You're on your way to the next 150 miles down the road. But the charging speeds are just terrible. So if you road trip cars and if you need an electric car to road trip, do not buy a Chevy Bolt. I just am being upfront. A lot of my commenters say things like, well, you'd say it like it is, the good and the bad. Well, I want to be transparent. I want to say 95% of the time, I love my Chevy Bolt. I'm a part-time Uber driver and I do a lot of short trips, a lot of around town driving. It's got a 65 kilowatt battery, 259 miles on a full tank of charge. And during the summer, it usually rates around 300 to 310 or 320 because a lot of stop and go, regenerative braking. I could get into numerous things. That's not what this video is about. I've made numerous videos about my car and what I like, and I'm planning on keeping my car for 200,000 miles, 250,000. But right now, these are the 2 reasons not to buy a Chevy Bolt. Depreciation, number 1, and charging speeds for road trips, number 2. You, until you live it, the charging speeds for road trips, and even early on, you could be like, let's stop for lunch. Let's spend an hour for lunch. Oh, let's stop for dinner. Okay, what are you gonna do the other times? Now we drove halfway to Florida and got a hotel room after 600 miles, and it took us 12 hours to go 600 miles. And then the next day, another 12 hours to go the next 645 miles or whatever. It's 1,250 to South Florida from central Illinois. That's brutal. And I was exhausted when we got in South Florida. I mean, even though you're stopping a lot, it's exhausting. There's just, I'm not a good, if you, like I said, if you want to road trip and go and go and go, and that's what I like to do. My wife also has a Honda Odyssey minivan, 21-gallon tank. We can go almost 600 miles. It usually says 605 miles when we fill it up. We could go to Florida on 2 stops. I think one time we made it on 3, but normally you have a potty break, or if you're not driving all night and driving straight through, you need to stop anyway. But I mean, you can really get there that way. But I'll wrap it up. I just want to say I appreciate everything, all the comments that's been coming in on the previous videos, but this one had to get done. Okay, so please like, subscribe, and comment below. We appreciate it. Stay safe.